In the previous video we talked about Tom Mouzon, and I'd like Gabe to tell us a little about John Brabham.
John Brabham is a farmer near Bamberg, South Carolina. He's a watermelon farmer and has a particular field that he had not done anything with for about 10 years because it wasn't being very productive. So we moved in and he really took to the cover crops right away. And his land seemed to as well. He's had some of the best cover crop stands that we've seen across all 11 farmers in this project. And as it's moved along, he seemed to get more and more excited about it. He's also got some beehives next to that field and has been really excited about how all these multiple species and all their flowers are going to help his bees grow and produce more honey for him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So he just found, I think, with that particular field, very, very low organic matter again in a sandy coastal plain soil.
Another very sandy soil.
That he wasn't really able to grow watermelons in any kind of normal season. So that's why he turned it over to that. So we're hoping for that to happen. But I was with you in April when we went out and was absolutely shocked to see, I think it was a 9-way cover, and I was just shocked to see how big that cover crop was. It was absolutely amazing.
And that's surprising given one of his major concerns for putting watermelons back in that field was that it wasn't irrigated.
Yeah.
But through the seasons of cover crops we've shown, that's definitely holding, or they're pulling up enough water to be able to grow really well.
Yeah. Now we've been taking soil tests over there. Have you seen any noticeable differences in the last 2 years?
Lots of fluctuations, but comparing the points that have been cover crop to the control point, there are definite differences. Even though there are early successional plants growing at that control point, it's not completely fallow. He's not terminating that, but there are definite differences in cation exchange capacity and a lot of nutrient changes that are happening in that cover crop land versus the other.
Was he seeing an organic matter change?
I believe so, but there's been some up and down in that as well.
Okay.
We'll see in the next year if that continues to be a seasonal thing or if that's something that was maybe just a fluke when we saw the drop.
Yeah. One of the things, we've got a really good image that shows the kind of weed pressure you experience with and without a cover crop on the borderline where he planted. The other thing he complained about was nutsedge. And nutsedge just can't compete with a cover crop that might be 5 or 6 foot high. So we've not really seen any nutsedge or weed pressure in that cover crop field anymore.
No, not when that cover crop's big and totally shading out the smaller stuff.
John's also become quite enthusiastic about cover crops, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. He's been kind of applying it in other areas.
Yeah, he's got a small greenhouse near his house that he grows vegetables. I'm not sure if they're for market or just for himself, but he's also started incorporating some of the cover crop mixes that we give him into his greenhouse, rotating it with his vegetables and putting it between rows and things like that.